Hi everybody, welcome to Wednesday's TNT. A big day in Thai politics, and we'll get to that a little bit later on in the program. But obviously this is the last gasp of Pita Limjaroenrat as far as his current run for the position of Prime Minister in Thailand. I think probably in the next couple of days it'll become clear exactly what's happening, but it's more than 2 months out of the actual election back on May the 14th. A ridiculous situation really, but we'll let that all happen and we'll report it as best we can. Last night, I have never known such high winds to hit, this particular part of Phuket. Suffice to say, it was enough to keep me awake for 2 or 3 hours. Had doors slamming, things blowing over, plants blowing over, branches breaking. The power went out for about 6 hours, and that was okay because it was quite cool. Well, coolish in a Phuket sort of way, but never known such strong winds. There wasn't any rain with it, but wow, did those winds hit hard. So I'm pretty sure we'll be reporting some damage around Phuket in the next few days. Anyway, on with the show. So it's still the main topic here in Thailand. Are the tourists coming? How many are coming? Where are they coming from? Let's see if we can find out some of the latest stories on this. And Nation Thailand reports Thai Council urges operators to tap spending potential of Indian tourists amid the increasing number of Indian tourists visiting Southeast Asian countries in the post-COVID era. Thailand's tourism operators must adjust their strategies. And the TCT Vice Chairman a bit further down said Asian Development Bank had estimated in its May report that India could surpass China in outgoing tourism markets during the next decade. The bank also said that the only disadvantage India had compared with China is fewer airports to serve international flight routes. And of course, airports can't be built overnight. They take a few years to develop and construct. And he said in 2019, before the pandemic, revenue from Indian tourists visiting Thailand was only 14% behind that of Chinese tourists, who topped the list of tourism revenue contributors. And the report said an average Chinese tourist spends 6,501 baht per day in Thailand, while an average Indian visitor spent 5,940 baht per day, putting them in the same bracket as high spenders. And he said to attract Indian tourists, Thai entrepreneurs must learn the liking of Indians, especially in foods and entertainment. And he said that Thai operators should use the advantage that many Thai cuisines and TV dramas have been influenced by India. I get what he's trying to say, but I'm not sure if there is that much influence in both the dramas and also the food. I mean, Indian curries are a very different flavour than Thai curries. Anyway, and he says if we don't act fast, neighbouring countries could soon grab these high potential spenders as they too have recovered from the impact of COVID. So whilst I was stumbling downstairs this morning and starting to rat through the different publishers, wiping the sleep out of my eyes, I stumbled on this story, and from Travel Daily News, and it said Visa and TAT launch Visa Thailand grand sale to drive tourism and boost foreign tourist spending. So I thought, there's some sort of collaboration between the TAT and some sort of new Visa. Well, I got that wrong. Visa, a world leader in digital payments and tourism authority of Thailand, today announced the launch of the Visa Thailand Grand Sale. So it's really just an ad. Anyway, I thought, I'll find out what's going on. The campaign is designed to drive international tourism to Thailand while accelerating tourist spending at leading popular shopping destinations throughout the country. Of course, the question was, how? And then here we go. The Visa Thailand Grand Sale campaign offers international Visa card holders a variety of discounts, coupons and special deals at 9 participating leading department stores across Thailand, including King Power, Central Department Store, Siam Paragon, Emporium, M Quartier, Icon Siam, Ratcha Prasong, One Siam and Jung Silon. The campaign lasts until the 31st of August. Well, I've got a Visa debit card. Does that count? Anyway, I think it's probably just Visa credit cards. I'm sorry about that. It said visas, and I thought it's about visas, but it wasn't. If you do go to those shopping centres, I suppose you're going to get a discount. So good luck to you. Now, a big thank you to 5-Star Marine. They've had a bit of a special visit over the past week. Suga from the BTS, the K-pop band, one of the 7 members, was visiting Phuket last week and went out with 5-Star Marine and posted a vlog. And it's had about 1.7 million views, which is probably the best advertising 5-Star Marine will ever get. You see the 5-star boat in the vlog. I'll post a link to the vlog in the description of this video, but a big visit there by one of the K-pop's leading producers, singers, dancers, and writers, Suga from BTS, and travelling, as you should, with 5-Star Marine. Wednesday's TNT whipping through some other stories from the PhuketExpress.com. Overstaying American arrested at Phuket Airport, and an immigration officer at the Phuket International Airport told Phuket Express that they'd arrested an American man at the departure gate. And his name and age, however, was not released. It was also unclear how long he'd been overstayed. So really not much of a story. Expect, I suppose, a warning that we should be very careful to keep an eye on the dates when our visas expire. The Thai government, the immigration police, don't take kindly to people overstaying their visas, so put it in a calendar, make an alarm, put a post-it note next to the door, whatever you need to make sure you don't overstay your visas. Next story, and this is posted in the PhuketExpress.com as well. American man arrested in Phuket after alleged sexual abuse of a minor. And a 30-year-old American man was arrested after he allegedly sexually abused a 9-year-old girl before escaping to Phuket. He was in Pattaya before. This has no relationship to the past story, I should note. And the immigration office say they arrested a man they identified only as Mr. Mays, 30, an American national, in Rawai in Phuket. The arrest came after the Royal Thai Immigration Bureau were notified of the wanted suspect from the International Criminal Investigation Unit of the US Embassy in Thailand. Mays allegedly abused a 9-year-old girl in a different country many times before he escaped to Thailand. Officers found that he'd moved to Phuket and stayed at a house in Rawai. And Mays entered Thailand on July 29 with a 30-day tourist visa. He was not overstaying at the time he was arrested, as he had a non-ED visa. However, his visa has now been revoked. Some reports allege the girl was his daughter. Although this wasn't confirmed, the suspect will be detained and extradited into the hands of the US authorities. Moving to our next story from the Bangkok Post, and video backs claim of a cop shakedown. And this shakedown was going really, really well, and the police didn't notice that the person being shaken down had their camera rolling. And a police investigation has been launched into an allegation that 5 policemen in this northeastern province abducted a woman, falsely accused her of drug possession, and extorted 50,000 baht from her in exchange for her release. And the woman, whose name was withheld, alleged that 5 men arrived at the resort where she was staying. The men claimed to be members of a police task force in Kalasin. They searched her room but found nothing, but they did find 20,000 baht in cash. They then took her from the room, asked her to point at some white tissue paper left under a tree outside the room, but she refused. So I'll go into the details of the story, just remembering that she had her camera rolling all the time. And she was then forcibly taken to their vehicle and then drove around the city district. On the way, they tried to persuade her to confess that she owned the tissue paper containing the illicit drugs. She said that she refused. The woman said that 5 men demanded 50,000 baht in exchange for her release. She said she was afraid of being falsely charged with drug offences, so she contacted her younger brother and borrowed 30,000 baht from him, which she then gave to the men along with the 20,000 baht. She had managed to video what happened during the police raid on her room without them noticing. So the 5 policemen from Kalasin, thinking they're pretty smart, 10,000 baht each, but she had her camera rolling, and those police are in just a lot of trouble. And where is Kalasin? I just sort of had a bit of a mental blank, but there it is, smack bang there in the middle of Isan. Time now to talk politics and find out what's happening today in this second joint sitting of the two houses of parliament as they try and nominate and vote for a prime minister. And Thai PBS World says protest against the Constitutional Court considering Pita's shareholding case. So the Election Commission passed the case up to the Constitutional Court last week, the day before the first vote. And of course that did put somewhat of a spanner in the works. Let's see what's happening. A political group gathered in front of the Constitutional Court today, that's yesterday, to protest against the Election Commission's submission of Pita Limjaroenrat's shareholding case to the court. The group, called June 24 Democracy, also submitted a petition to the court's president against the court's accepting for consideration whether Pita and his party's election campaign promise to amend the lèse majesté law could be considered an attempt to overthrow the country's democratic system of government with a king as head of state. And the leader of the group expressed doubt over the Election Commission's real intention in the shareholding case and whether it's being neutral in its handling of the matter. And going to the Bangkok Post now, and Pita worried about attempt to block the second vote. So he may not even get a chance to have a second standing as the Prime Minister. And the Move Forward party leader has expressed concern that any attempts to block him from being nominated as Prime Minister again today will affect the entire parliamentary system in the future. He also reiterated yesterday that he would step aside and allow the Pheu Thai party to take the lead in forming a government if he failed to secure enough support in the second round of voting for Prime Minister. And also from BangkokPost.com, Pheu Thai eyes Move Forward Party free block. So Pheu Thai sensing weakness, moving in for the kill. Pheu Thai is ready to form an alternative coalition, excluding the Move Forward Party, and it will bring in parties from the outgoing government if the Move Forward Party leader fails to secure enough support. The sources say that Mr. Pita faces several hurdles to his PM bid, and he will still not be able to receive sufficient backing during the second round of voting today. They said the first hurdle is that his critics, especially the 250 senators, will cite Parliamentary Meeting Regulation number 41, which prohibits a motion that's been rejected by Parliament from being resubmitted during the same session to block his renomination. And if rejected, the PM vote will have to be rescheduled, and Pheu Thai will have a chance to nominate its own candidate. Adding Sreta Tavisin, one of the party's three PM candidates, is expected to get the nod. The sources went on to say that there is not much chance of forming a new coalition government with the Move Forward Party because most senators have made it clear they will not support the party due to its stance on amending Section 112 of the Criminal Code. And to overcome this hurdle, Pheu Thai will take the lead in forming the new government and exclude the Move Forward Party, while trying to bring some parties from the outgoing government into the coalition, such as Phumjai Thai, Palang Pracharat and the Chathai Patana parties, with a combined number of 300 or so MPs. So this increasingly looks like the scenario that's going to take place. Pheu Thai basically crossing the aisles and forming a coalition with their former foes. And ThaiPBSWorld.com reports as Pita's PM hopes fade, Pheu Thai in pole position to form the next government, and some analysts see Move Forward's latest political moves as a last-ditch effort to keep its promises, predicting they will fail and result in the party losing the chance to form a government and instead joining the opposition camp. And then a bit further down, a lecturer at the Burapha University forecast the two parties, that's Pheu Thai and Move Forward Party, will eventually part ways, with Pheu Thai forming the next government and Move Forward relegated to the opposition bench. He said deep down Pheu Thai and Move Forward can't coexist. They're of a different species and their chemistry doesn't match. So, well, assuming that this scenario goes ahead, we could have the Move Forward Party relegated to the opposition benches. and that means that assuming Pita Limjaroenrat is allowed to remain as an MP, they'll be able to sit back over the next 4 years, throwing stones at the government as they try and run Thailand. I imagine that the Pheu Thai voters won't be very happy with them cozying up with the conservative parties, and that the Pheu Thai would do very poorly in the next election and maybe move forward, might get a full majority in its own right at the next election, making them much more powerful. Anyway, we'll just have to see what happens. It's going to be a big day in Thai politics. I'll do my best to try and unravel it for you all tomorrow. And speaking about tomorrow, we may still not have a Prime Minister, and another day is set aside for voting tomorrow if they can't get things sorted out today. Hopefully no more high winds in Phuket. I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow.